All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Chag Chanukah Sameiach. For those who get the reference, I put on my yarmulke because it's time to celebrate Hanukkah. I hope I get a harmonica on this happy Hanukkah. We have before us an unbelievable array of Chanukiot that many of you brought in, and I'd like to invite all of you who brought in a Chanukiah. We have some long matches here. Some other people brought some of their own matches. That as we light all of our collective candles to celebrate Hanukkah before Shabbat on the same night, we're able to see all of these lit together since we are on night number 3. Just to be sure we have it right, and for anyone joining us, welcome to Temple Sinai, of course. We hope you feel welcome here and enjoy our service tonight. We're going to light the shamash, and then since our candles are put in from right to left, we light them from left to right. And we, as we start lighting, those of you who are seated, the blessings for the Hanukkah candles will be found on page 279. I learned tonight that it's actually a very hard and fast rule that when Shabbat and Hanukkah coincide together, that you always light your Hanukkah candles first. Shabbat comes above all other festivals. And Hanukkah is a lovely but minor Jewish holiday. How dare I? But we make it more significant than that. So as we begin to light our Hanukkah candles, we will start with our blessings and then move into some songs I'll announce as we go together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, vetzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim lavoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Amen. And on page 365, we will find a favorite Hanukkah song for many, Ma'oz Tzur. 365. Ma'oz Tzur Yeshuati Lechanae Leshabeach Tikon Beit Tefilati Vesham Todah Nizabeach Le'etachin matbeach Mitzar hamna beach Az egmor beshir mizmor Chanukah hamizbeach Az egmor beshir mizmor Chanukah hamizbeach. Rock of ages, let our song praise your saving power. Thou amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but thine arm availed us, and thy word broke their sword. When our own strength failed us, and thy word broke their sword. When our own strength failed us. There is another verse. Children of the Maccabees, whether free or fettered, wake the echo echoes of the songs, where you may be scattered. Yours the message cheering, that the time is nearing, which will see all people free, tyrants disappearing, which will see all people free, tyrants disappearing. Thank you, everybody. We can all be seated. Enjoy these lights in front of us. And with our coincidental gathering, of course, for Shabbat, I welcome up Rose Petersky to light our Shabbat candles for us. We can find the Shabbat candle blessings on page 2, way back at the beginning of the book. As Rose comes up, for those who are new here, we read right to left. You can sing along, la, la, la. Amen at the end counts. And I don't think I introduced myself. My name is Aaron Hill. I am a lay member of the synagogue filling in for the rabbis tonight. And thank you, Rose. You know, the match is wonderful.
Also, it's Petersky.
Yeah, Petersky. Oh, Petersky. Yes. Too smooth.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam
asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And with this next one, we continue with a song some of you may have heard. We'll be on page 367, and as you find your way to the end of the book, my favorite Hanukkah song growing up was Light One Candle by Peter Yarrow, who just publicly announced that he's entered hospice. So this will be the last Hanukkah for musical treasure. One of the great songwriters that gave us this song, Ronan Loves Puff the Magic Dragon, so many others, and one of the kindest people we've had the privilege to know. So in page 367, light one candle. Light one candle for the Maccabee children. Give thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. Light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bind us together with peace as the song in our heart. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame? What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? Have we come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail? This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Thank you for indulging. I think probably a lot of congregations are doing light one candle tonight. Even if it's unofficial, we do some things in English. Continuing with our Shabbat service progression on page 20, we welcome the Sabbath bride as we do with Lecha Dodi, and for those who are new to us, we sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we get to verse 9, we those who are able rise in body or spirit and face towards the Sparks Marina and distant points beyond. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor bedibur echad, hishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva oret kumiori, uri, shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich nikla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Bohoi v'shalom ahateret gala, gam b'simcha uvetzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. It's so good to hear all your voices in tremendous tune on that one. Please be seated. Warms my heart is in my other life, I'm a music professor. Hearing people sing together does a lot of good for me. We continue on page 26 with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach yute ve'amlich malchute, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבא מברך לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דה מהירן בעלמה ואמרו Amen. And that being the warm-up, we officially call ourselves to the gathering on page 28. With the Baruch Hu, please rise as we face the ark. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. And I believe we may now be seated. I always forget when we sit and stand, but luckily I have a Rabbi Emerita in the second row just in case. Never hesitate to let me know.
It's not always been the same.
And I love that about us. We are always evolving, and 2 Jews, 3 opinions. We continue to gather in the Hebrew. I always love doing the Hebrew of the Ma'ariv Aravim on page 30 together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach she'arim uvitvuna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom umevi layla Umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. Rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. We continue together 1 page later on page 32 with Debbie Friedman's Ahavat Olam. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha havta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, uvmitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael. I was very proud of our Tot Shabbat kids tonight. They all knew that when we sing the Shema, they were very quick to cover their eyes, as is an option for all of us. On page 34, together for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Page 36, the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantaham levanecha ve'dibarta baham Beshiftecha beveitecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, leman tiskeru. Va'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem Emet. And then for some English, we turn together to page 39 and read as one. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. And on page 40, we have the Micha Mocha together. Micha Mocha Bailim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar Bakodesh, Nora tehilot o seifele, Nora tehilot o seifele, Ma'alechutecha ra'u vanecha, Bokea yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai imloch Leolam Va'ed. V'nemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov, ugalo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai Ba'al Yisrael. And again together in a little bonus English on page 42 from Grant, O God. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, Guide with us your good counsel for your name's sake. Be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guide our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. And now, for our central standing prayer, those who are able, here and at home, may rise, and we turn to page 46. Adonai sepatai tiftahu v'yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol, Hagibor, v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher chastei avot b'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah, page 50. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atara v'hushia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim, Somech noflim v'rovech cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato v'shemei achar, michamocha ba'al geburot, u'mito melach, melech me'mid u'mechayeh, u'matzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'emanata l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol. Page 52. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim hoyom ve'alucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We remain standing and continue silently, reading along or whatever is catching your brain and spirit until page 62. On page 62, we find our prayer for peace. Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav. Uyaseh Shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru. Himru amen. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. I think a lot of you know that tonight there will be jelly donuts. Sufganiot, as is a religious mandate, there must be jelly donuts. And to expedite the jelly donuts, and with our end of semester timing, there will not be a full Torah service tonight, even though there will be remarks. But in its place, we need to never miss the opportunity to think of those who could use some healing. Whether of body or of mind. Those of us who are joining online, I would invite you to enter names you're thinking of into the comments. And I know our community is thinking of Mary Jo Adams, Kevin Ashton, Kathy Bartlett, Tracy Bartlett, Batya Tali, Pauline Bina, Laura Cohen, Uritsur Cohen, Megan Carney Cranmer, Jim Eaglesmith, Sandra Goodman, Martha Gould, Stephen Gould, Marlene Harris, Pam Hendricks, Sadie Kirby, Letitia Kruger, John Lutzker, Jason Matthews, Harav Miriam Yalchaya Batsara, Tim Ober, Claire Petersky, Karez, the Ramirez Morgan family, Judy Ramos, Sarah Bat Chava, Harav Sarah Bat Yisrael V'Shoshana, Terry Sayez, Chaya Schwartz, Shana Bracha Bat Esther Malka, Shlomit Shalit, Chris Stanton, Vanessa Wagoner, Bobby Wells, Usher Zalik, Israel for peace, healing, and remembrance for all the innocent lives affected in this war, all the military and aid personnel assisting in the war in Gaza, everyone affected by the coronavirus, long COVID, the Jewish and other communities of Ukraine, and all other names as you see my hand meet your eyes.
Stuart Alderman.
Ariana Ornelas.
Rabbi Vicky Hollander and Peter Yarrow.
Mm-hmm. And I would add Claude Vidal, Bobby Vidal, Jean Barron, and Andy Heglant. For those names and the names that were listed online, Debbie Friedman's Misha Berach, the Prayer for Healing, can be found on page 253. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So, what's Hanukkah's message anyhow? Aside from being close to some other holiday a lot of our close friends celebrate, are we here to remember a violent conflict from the past, or to cast surprisingly miraculous, abundant light into the future amidst the rubble of the conflict? Why not both? I'm here tonight filling in for Rabbi Benjamin so that he can have the opportunity to travel, and so that I can sing some familiar songs with a captive audience of good and very good-looking friends. Rabbi Benjamin is one of my great moral guideposts, and as generous a friend as I've ever encountered. I'll admit, for a great deal of my adult Jewish life, I've underutilized the opportunity to bring big ethical questions to my rabbis, underestimating how eager they are to, in the noblest of Jewish traditions, answer my questions with yet more questions, and how honored they are to be asked. It might seem silly, but of all the big topics I've covered with Rabbi Benjamin, and there have been many, one shared experience that's bonded us most in our quest to discover what we have to offer the world around us is based on very different memories we both have of performing in Jewish summer camp productions of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. My production was in 1996, and I can still sing you the entire show, but for your sanity, and to avoid putting Temple Sinai at risk of massive copyright infringement through our live stream, I will not be singing any of the songs tonight. Sorry to disappoint. But whenever I speak about a parsha from Joseph's story, it's incredibly hard to resist the temptation to break out in song. Musical theater was my introduction to loving music. And two of my earliest memories were from being taken to productions of Les Mis and Cats. I'm not someone who passively consumes performance well. When I witness a great performance, I get an itch to jump on stage and join the show. I've been that way since I was Ronan's age. You saw Ronan earlier tonight. He's 5. Some people just have that. And that's why it's so easy for the chair of the Jewish Practice Committee to convince me to do what I'm doing right now. And that Camp Hess Kramer production of Joseph was my first chance at age 14 to be in a full-length musical. The process taught me two of the most formative lessons I had in my musical education. One was that art falls completely flat without sincerity. I don't get to sing it because who knows, fair use or not. But the very first line of the show would read, "Some folks dream of the wonders they'll do before their time on this planet is through." And the first time my friend playing the narrator sang it, I saw her deliver that line without any feeling, and she had to walk across the stage. "Some folks dream of the wonders they'll do before their time on this planet is through." And the director intervened, correcting her not to sing such a lofty line as if she were saying, "My friends say I should walk over here." And instead, she should think of the most optimistic hopes her brain could fathom, and that if she sang the line with such conviction, anybody listening would also have their thought patterns shift to boundless optimism, maybe. Some folks dream of the wonders they'll do before their time on this planet is through. Feels different. Since then, I've had a powerful sense of duty to sing and play music with passion, never knowing who out there listening needs to be transported away from whatever might be troubling them from their traumatic past, distressing present, or uncertain future. If you sing something a certain way, play something a certain way, or even say something a certain way, those present to listen can have their mental states reshaped in a potentially very positive way. I also learned a valuable lesson in casting prerogative in that production. I wanted the title role of Joseph and felt confident that I was the most capable singer, but I was instead assigned a minor role because my friend David, who is a very conventionally attractive boy, had also tried out, and he couldn't match pitch with his voice or act particularly convincingly. But as the director explained to me when I asked for notes on the outcome, Aaron, I may or may not be able to teach David how to sing or how to act, but I know I can't teach you how to look like him. Ooh. Cold, right? So here I am today sharing the happy news with all of you that if you like musicals, you can see me and Some Like It Hot in the Wiz, but I'll be underground playing woodwind instruments, face for radio. And I'm looking forward to it very much. Theater has a job for anyone willing to put in the work and adapt to what they have to offer. That moment from my past may be cringe-inducing, and I heard your cringes, and unnecessarily hurtful, but it was one of my earliest experiences with being confronted with a brick wall and choosing to go around the brick wall instead of continuing to bash face first into it. And I'm grateful for any role that painful early experience had in helping me find an adaptively different, equally wonderful way to be in a show. And in reading Parshat Miketz to prepare for today, I found myself most struck this time not with the big stories, but just by the meaning of Joseph's sons' names, Menashe and Ephraim. Menashe stands for Joseph being made to forget his painful past, and Ephraim signifies Joseph's productive and fertile future, as we know, because we know, spoilers, it worked out. As Jews, being compelled to forget the past goes against most of our other teachings from ancient to present day. From never forget what Amalek did to us to never again is now, and everything in between. We're always confronting something to not forget so that history won't be repeated. Menashe and Ephraim may have been twins, or at least very close brothers. So perhaps we can read a paired insinuation from how the story worked out, that success is the best revenge for past pain. So if all of your brothers throw you in a pit and sell you off into servitude, your best course of action is to find a way to rise to the top of another society that welcomes the unconventional skills of a dream interpreter, hoping your original betrayers see the error in their ways and come back to reunite with you through learned humility and self-improvement of their own. But we know through the events that followed that when they all reunited, Joseph recognized his brothers, and they didn't recognize him. So the name Menashe, being made to forget, may have been wishful thinking on Joseph's part and counterproductive to even wish to forget. Joseph remembered, he did not forget. Having a son with that name might not have helped. Joseph failed to understand the lesson that you can't just tell yourself, don't think of an elephant. Now, of course, we're all thinking about an elephant. You can't tell yourself not to think about something. And I return to the earlier observation that our thought patterns can be influenced by outside forces like words and song or the name of someone nearby. Just as Menashe's name, meaning turned out to be useless and antithetical to most other Jewish commandments to remember and actionably learn from everything, Ephraim's symbolic aspiration of future fertility is also only half true. Joseph's massive success came from recognition that Egypt's near-term success would not be permanent, advising Pharaoh to save surpluses for severely infertile years to come. You can't wish to forget painful memories, and your greatest successes can come not just from steady hard work or a winning lottery ticket, but also from planning for and adapting to life's inevitable obstacles, expecting the unexpected, because we all experience some bumps if we're lucky to live long enough. So how's Hanukkah going for you so far? What are we remembering about this past year? What are we hoping to gain as a, I feel you, as a best case scenario for 2025? Right? I don't know about all of you, but as I look back on 2024, it was one of the rangiest years of my life, locally, globally, everywhere. I've experienced some of my most fulfilling joys along with some of my deepest frustrations and unease. As I heard one astute colleague on campus comment about the world around us, Whether one is currently optimistic or pessimistic about the trajectory of our societies and institutions, the one thing we know for certain is that the near future will be filled with disruption, conflict, and volatility. So we need to be prepared for anything and take no joy for granted. I find myself in good spirits this week. We're celebrating Hanukkah abundantly with my household family, our local chosen family, including many of you, at an unprecedented number of festive community events. We're really doing 8 crazy nights this year. I've historically been prone to going into a new year offering predictions and aspirations for what I want out of the year, but my confidence in my predictive skill is low. And my recognition for how little control we have over our surroundings is appropriately high. So do I wish we could forget our worst memories of the last year, as Menashe would suggest, and plan for a 2025 filled with success, as Ephraim would suggest? Oh, absolutely. I wish for that. But some folks dream of the wonders they'll do before their time on this planet is through, and we live in this world. My current actionable hope is that we share joy with each other at every possible moment and be ready to face challenges together as they inevitably arise, just like we always have. Chag Chanukah Sameiach, Happy Gregorian New Year, and Shabbat Shalom. Chag Sameiach. So moving along, I have Jen and Shalom Gordon, if you're present, to open the ark doors for our Aleinu, which we can find on the bottom of page 282. We rise together as the ark is opened. Thank you. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegoralenu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Top of the next page. Shehu notei shamayim veyosed haaretz, umoshav yikaro bashamayim ima'al, ushchinatu zo, begov meromim, hu Eloheinu einot, emet malkeinu efesulato, kakatu betorato, ve'atayom ve'hashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'elohim, bashamayim mimal, ve'al haaretz mitachat einot. In the English at the top of page 285, let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Together on page 287. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Yihyeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. Thank you both. We may be seated. Our thoughts turn to those who've departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Tonight, in the Shloshim period, we remember Vivian Morgan, Herbert Gordon, James Clore. In the first year of mourning, Eric Rosenberg, Jeffrey Foer, Kevin Knox, Joanne Reimer, Jim Alexander, Rivka Bat Abraham, Kurt Engelhart, Debbie Herman, Jerry Zober, Laura Lazarus, Ron Darst, Robert Stearns, Sally Ann Castle-Rain, Irene Fenton, Patricia Duffier, Joseph Ohayon, Yolanda Jimenez, Nancy Dowse, Ernie Kuntz, Michael Schifrin, Justin Friedlander, Michael McGraw, and the yard sites of Jack Laskin, Arnold Seidel, Rose Brown, Hyman Getz, Marianne Schenker, Jerry DeRocco, Lillian Solomon, Adele Gordon, Hattie Porter, Vivian Beals, Abraham L. Engel, Constance Hellman, Lillian R. Katz, Ralph Levine, G. Ted Madison, Charles Roish. I invite anyone online to add names to the chat input, and as my hand moves around the room, we name further names of those we're missing.
All the innocent people with the guidance for.
Les Cohen.
Miriam Adler.
Laura McGill.
May their memories be a blessing. If it is your custom, please rise. On page 294, we find Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah ve'alma divrach hirute ve'amlich malchute v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam ulalmei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh Vit hadar, vit hale, vit halal, shmei de kudasha brichu. Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'miran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for blessing. We can be seated. And if there is a member of the board able to make announcements, I invite up Michael Cohen. Thank you, Michael.
These keeping these for later?
Oh, those were up there. You could have one.
Oh,
We'll share.
okay.
We'll share.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thanks again to Aaron for leading in the absence of the rabbis who are having a wonderful Hanukkah vacation, seeing family. No Torah Chanter, obviously, today. And thanks to Mike for doing the live stream tech today. As usual, we are looking for Torah Chanters and live stream techs. I know I tell you every time. But believe it or not, someone came up to us last week and volunteered, someone under 20. So if they can do it, you can do it. And of course, join us shortly for, I guess we're not doing a bonfire because it is too windy, but there is hot cocoa, there are sufganiyot and various treats in the social hall. And if you're online, you can go to the ISMA Zoom at sinaireno.org/Zoom. There'll be a virtual oneg room after the service. Continuing our 8 crazy nights of Hanukkah, tomorrow, we have PJ movie night at 6 o'clock. Wear your PJs and enjoy the show. Also, I'm not sure if you're aware, but just outside there is a little sign-up sheet where people can sign up to invite people to their homes. And one of the events, so of course, two of the events are Aaron and Laura's because they love to host. But one of the events is for tomorrow night. It's a 21 plus vodka and latkes party. So you can just check that out around the back there. Continuing on, so that's Saturday. Sunday, there is another one of those events that you can check out. Monday here, we are having Hanukkah board game night, which I will, be bringing lots of great stuff to. So join us if you like board games, from the simple to the deeply complex. And then I don't believe we have any events scheduled for the 7th or the 8th. I haven't seen anything on the calendar, the 7th and the 8th nights. Sorry?
Running into New Year's, right?
Right. That's New Year's Eve and New Year's Day evening. Looking ahead, we have the office being closed on Tuesday and Wednesday, December 31st and January 1st. And looking further ahead, Purim Spiel rehearsals are ongoing. If you're interested in making a beloved fool of yourself, please do join us. And there is no Sinai school until January the 12th. That's our first day back. There's also a board meeting on Wednesday, January the 8th. We welcome anyone who wishes to join. It's on Zoom. We love to have members of the congregation stop by and see how things are done. One additional thing, just looking a little further ahead, on Tuesday, January the 14th, there's a movie night at the Temple Sinai Library. I don't have any further details here, but that could be fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you all for joining tonight. I'm happy to see people in so many numbers, and I'm looking forward to the chance to seeing many of you over Sufgan Yot. There should also be, Michael, probably a Yisma following with all of the information provided in the online stream. We have on page 364 one more Hanukkah song before we make our way over to the social hall since it's so windy outside. In the middle of the page, we will find the short and festive Mi Yemalel. Mi Yemalel Gvurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yinmeh Hen Bechdor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham. Mi Yemalel Gvurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yinmeh Hen Bechdor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham. Shma Bayamim Hahem Bazman Hazeh Makabi Moshia Ufodeh Uvyamenu Kolam Yisrael Yitached Yachum Behigael, and faster. Mi Yemalel Gvurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimneh Hen Bechdor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham. Mi Yemalel Gvurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimneh Hen Bechdor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham. Shma Bayamim Hahem Bazman Hazeh Makabi Moshia Ufodeh Uvyamenu Kolam Yisrael Yitached Lakum Higael. Mi Yemalel Gvurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimneh Hen Bechdor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham. Mi Yemalel Gvurot Yisrael Otan Mi Yimneh Hen Bechdor Yakum Hagibor Goel Ham. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Chanukah Sameiach, and we will continue with Kiddush in the other room.